Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Cracks Are Turning Problems into Solutions. This is me Priyasha Das and today I'm up with the day 3 of the CMAT workshop where we'll be discussing the GK and the current affairs related to the topics on your screen right now. But before that, let me tell you about the Unacademy's new batches, Evolve batch and the Stricker batch for CAT 2022. So in case you're preparing for the CAT 2022 and need some better guidance like what to study, where to get started from, what exactly to practice, which topics to focus more on, then please give all these type of tensions to your tutors, which are the best tutors on the platform who would be guiding you with all these queries and telling you what exactly to study, how much to study, and when to give the test and how to gauge your levels. Everything will be taken care of by the tutors and you will get a detailed study timeline where you will be following it and you would not be wasting a single second doing all these things. So that's the benefit of joining a course, and nothing can be better than the platform like Unacademy, which provides you so many good tutors to get started from. So do check the links in the description box for these new batches. Every batch has a different tutor, so specially go out and check out the videos of the tutor on the Unacademy app and make a decision accordingly. But for enrolling into these batches, you would need a subscription. And for the plus or the iconic subscription, you please use my code Priyasha10 because that will give you an additional instant discount of 10% on all your subscriptions, and along with that some additional features of the Unacademy app as well. So do check the link in the description box, and now let's get our video started. Hello everyone. So in today's video, we will be talking about the GK and the current affairs section, which is specifically related to CMAT. But yeah, this is gonna be an important thing for even the ones who would be preparing for any future examination, because CMAT, just like any other examination, asks questions from these particular section. Like these are the 11 sections you see on your screen right now, starting with history, going up to sports. These are the major categories across which the various examinations do ask you questions. So keeping CMAT in mind and the frequency and the categories, subcategories of questions being asked, I have taken up or pulled up three very important questions from each category. So today in this part one of this video, like today we are on the day 3 of the workshop, and we would be dedicating 2 days to the current affairs and the GK section. So day 1 is where we'll be covering up first 5 topics, that's history, business and economy, finance and banking, geography and environment. So important questions related to this will be taken care of, and then in the next part I'll be taking care of the other set of important sections of the GK and the current affair. But moving ahead, we'll be starting with the history section. And before making any advancement towards any question or discussing things in detail, I'll just like to tell you that it's a primary goal, which I always keep on saying in all my previous videos. I've been kept on saying this in my TISSNET videos as well, TISSNET crash course, which really went well. The only thing I would like to tell you all is that don't just focus on the number of questions we are doing in the video. We should focus on the amount of information we are gathering from that question. For example, if you can see already on your screen, the first question is right there, which asks you who is known as the prophet of New India. So the answer is one of the 5 options, but that doesn't restrict you to the fact that you will only learn that the prophet of New India is certain person. What you need to learn is who is that person, what additional things has that person done in his life which makes him special, so that in future if you don't get this question back again, you would surely get a question related to the answer, and then you can definitely answer that back correctly. Or it is also helpful in the GD and the PI rounds. So you guys very well know that in the GD and the PI VAT rounds as well, you are supposed to show your source of information. How much do you know about things happening around you, or whatever you know, how well you can present that either in the form of writing or in the form of speaking. So therefore, knowing certain things is a part of general knowledge, and a bit more like 1 2 liner more about that particular thing would really help you stand out of the crowd. You will be a person who would be not just knowing the answer to this question, but also knowing 1 or 2 facts more about the related answer. Like let's start with the history section. The first question is who is known as the prophet of New India. If you know the answer, well and good. And if you don't, and if you want to think, you can pause the video, think, and then replay and get the answer. So the answer to this question is option C, that is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He was called as the prophet of New India. So this is just a piece of information, only one information so far, that he is the prophet of New India. But information number two, which you can add on to this, if you are hearing my videos carefully, then that would be that he was an Indian reformer who was one of the founders of Brahmo Samaj. So what you can associate with this? You can associate Brahmo Samaj and the information about it. So if next time you get a question on Brahmo Samaj, you know that the founder is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So this is the second set of information you gain from this video. So we are doing only one question, but we are gathering around 4, 5, 6 points from each question that makes every question special. And in turn, you are not preparing just for those 15 questions which I will be coming forward, but you will actually be preparing for 15 into 5 questions at least on an average. Now, the third set of information which you can get through here is that he was given the title of Raja. See, his name was not Raja Ram Mohan Roy. His name was just Ram Mohan Roy. But the title of Raja was given to him by Akbar II. Okay. So Akbar too gave him the title of Raja. And the next thing which you can add up to the reason of why we call him as the prophet of New India is he is also called as the father of Indian nationalism. Okay, or the father of Indian Renaissance. This is also a very important term associated with Raja Ram Mohan Roy, father of Indian Renaissance. I'll just write it in short so that you remember it. And he started Brahmo Samaj in 1828, to be very specific, for if you want to remember the year as well. And he was also associated with another Sabha. He started that Sabha, and that Sabha is called as the Atmeya Sabha. So its spelling goes as this. And this Atmeya Sabha was special. Why? Because it attracted young men from Calcutta and carried on the struggle against religious and social evils existing in the society. So that's all about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. We gathered 5 important points about him. So now we are ready to answer additional 5 questions related to Ram Mohan Roy. So this is the process which I was talking about, that watching these videos will not just help you with 15 questions, but will help you with 15 into 5 questions. Now let's move down to the second question based on history. This is for the political history. So that was related to just Indian history, and you can also call it as reform related history or Indian independence related history. The second category which I have brought forward is politics related history. So which among the following was the first woman to preside over the Indian National Congress? You have 4 options. If you know the answer, well and good. I'm going to reveal the answer, and if you don't know and you want time, you can pause the video. So option for question number 2, the correct answer is option B, that is Mrs. Annie Besant. Now, who was she? She was actually a British socialist. She was also a philanthropist, an orator, a writer, educationalist, and she was regarded as a champion of human freedom and a very ardent supporter of the Irish and the Indian self rules. Okay, she was always focused on making India free, and therefore she was always working on the self rule thing. And she was the first woman to preside over INC. But if someone asks you who is the first Indian woman to preside over INC, then the answer will go as the Nightingale of India. Do anyone knows this? Who is the Nightingale of India? It's actually Sarojini Naidu. So that's the spelling of Sarojini Naidu. You know the spelling of Naidu. So she was the first Indian woman to become a Congress president after Annie Besant. She was not Indian though. She was a British socialist. That why the question can completely change. So this is all about the question number 2. So this is a category of Indian, like Congress, or we can say politics related history. Then the third category is again history only, but the subcategory is mythology. So mythology is termed as, like here we have a question on Gayatri Mantra. It's one of the most commonly revered mantra, right? But we have a question from it. So which of the following books we can say contains this mantra? So the correct answer to this question is option A, that's Rig Veda. Rig Veda is one of the oldest Veda as well. Now something to be gathered from Gayatri mantra is that Gayatri mantra is also called as Savitri mantra. So next time you get this as a question, that the Savitri mantra is contained in which book, then the answer still remains the same, that is Rig Veda, because it's nothing else but the Gayatri mantra. It's one of the highest revered mantra from the Rig Veda, and I don't really want to mention which mandala it belongs to, because I don't think you will ever get it as a question. But you should remember it, that it is dedicated to the Vedic deity of Savitri. Okay, and Gayatri is the name of the goddess of Vedic, like Vedic times, and mantra is actually a verse. So mantra stands for a verse, and Gayatri is the name of the deity. Okay, so that makes Gayatri mantra, which is present in Rig Veda. How many Vedas do we have? We have four Vedas: Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda. All right, so we have three questions completed from the history section. Now we'll quickly move down to the other section, which is business and economy. So for business and economy related questions, we have the first question on our screen, question number 4. Question number 4 says, what does S&P 500 relate to? So let's find it out. If you know it, well and good. If not, then I'm going to reveal out the answer. The answer for this question would be that it is an index of the stock of large companies. Now, what exactly is that? The S&P full form stands for the Standard and the Poor. So here comes Standard and Poor, S and P. Okay, Standard and Poor's 500, or simply S&P 500. It's actually a stock market index which tracks the performance of the 500 large companies. So you need to make a note of it. Okay, 500 large companies listed on the stock exchange of United States. So this is related to the US stocks, and it is one of the most commonly followed equity indices. So that's just the thing you need to know about this S&P 500. It's a business economy related question, stock market related question basically. Under economy and business, one very important subsection is stock markets. Then question number 5 comes in and says, which of the following is not a public sector unit, undertaking or agency? So different sectors of the government, especially Indian government, is something what CMAT loves to ask. So if I go and check the options, that is ECGC, SD, SIDBI, SEBI and Axis Bank. So before answering this question, you need to actually know the full form of each of these. So what's the full form of ECGC? The full form of ECGC is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. So it's Export Credit Guarantee, for pardon my handwriting, Corporation of India. I'm just writing in short. Okay, just need to remember Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. Then SIDBI stands for Small Industrial or Small Industries Development Bank of India. So I'll just write BOI, Development Bank of India. And then comes the last S, SEBI. SEBI is Security and Exchange Board of India. This is quite common to all of you. You all know this very well because you have been using this. So Securities and Exchange. All right. Do I need to write Board of India as well? Okay. Fine. So I've completed all of this. Axis Bank doesn't have a full form. What you need to know is Axis Bank is the answer to this question because it's not a public sector undertaking. It's a private bank, and it was formerly called as UTI Bank. Okay, formerly called as UTI Bank. It's an Indian banking and financial service company, and the headquarters of Axis Bank is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, enough of information from question number 5. Quickly moving down to question number 6, guys. Question number 6 says the most important small scale industry in India is. So there are four options and we need to find out which of the following is the most important small scale industry in India. So the answer to this question is option A, that's the handloom industry. फर्स्ट वी नीड टू नो दैट हम स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज बुलाते किस इंडस्ट्री को है, स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज को, दैट इज अंडरस्टूड, बट देयर शुड बी अ क्राइटेरिया, राइट? So small scale industries are those industries in which the manufacturing, production and the rendering of the services are done on a very small or micro scale, and this small and micro scale is actually measured how the industry is making a one time investment in the machinery, the plant or the equipment should not go beyond 10 crores. So the investment should not go beyond 10 crores. That's the investment criteria. And the other criteria is the annual turnover. The turnover should not exceed 50 crores. So if the turnover is not exceeding 50 crores, and the investment, one time investment is not more than 10 crores, then that industry is called as a small scale industry. And handloom industry is one of the largest unorganized sectors of the economic activities in India, and it is associating many lakh weavers from the rural and the suburban areas, and most of them are actually women and people from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. Okay, and you just need to remember one important thing when it comes to handloom, that there's a handloom hub in India. Do you guys know where is the handloom hub in India? The handloom hub in India is in Panipat. Panipat is in Haryana. So just remember this term with respect to your handloom industry, that the handloom hub in India is in Panipat, Haryana. So that makes question number 6 answered as handloom industry. And we will now be moving into the other section, which is finance and banking. And when we come to finance and banking, it's very special for the CMAT aspirants, because finance and banking related questions can also be a part of your in entrepreneurship and innovation based question MCQs. So make sure that your hold on the finance and banking area is strong enough, because that will also be, a part of your innovation and entrepreneurship section. So coming to the question number 7, we have, what does the financial inclusion mean? So I give you some time to read the options. You can pause the video, read the options carefully. Financial inclusion का definition खोजने की कोशिश कीजिए. And only hint I can give you is try to figure out an option which is more rational, logical in sense. ओके, इंक्लूजन का मतलब क्या होता है? सबको इंक्लूड करना, और फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन मीन्स सबको फाइनेंशियली इंक्लूड करना. So think in that respect and try to figure out an option which is covering this aspect and go on and answer this question. I'm going to reveal it right now. The answer to this question is option C. I'll just read out in detail. The answer is expanding the network of the banks and financial institutions in such a way that the people from lower strata of the society also get access to the sustainable financial services, whether it is savings, credit or insurance. तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा था, inclusion means including everyone, and financially including everyone is financial inclusion. So option C is the only option जो कि इस definition को match करता है, and that makes option C is the correct answer for us. And just to tell you that some examples of the fintech developments that have actually aided in this financial inclusions can be the growing use of cashless digital transactions. So this cashless society of ours is actually leading to what? It's leading to financial inclusions. Now it's not necessary that a person carrying cash will be preferred over the person carrying credit cards, or maybe not having essential money in his pocket. Everyone now has money in their mobile phones, and mobile phones is something which they carry every time. So that's why this growing use of cashless digital transaction is an example of financial inclusions. Just like this, we also can conclude the crowdfunding or the peer-to-peer funding or the social lending. These practices are actually nothing but contributors towards what? Contributors towards the financial inclusion. Examples. Now, moving to the question number 8. What's inflation, guys? We all have heard this term multiple times, but don't get confused in one definition or two definitions or both A and B. Just try to read out the sentences carefully in the options and figure out an answer for yourself. I'll be revealing the answer in just 1, 2, 3 seconds. And the answer to this question is option D. That is both A and B. Now, how is that possible? Let's read the first thing. Loss of purchasing power of a currency due to price increase. Now, what's the purchasing power of the currency? Now you can purchase a certain commodity. Let's say I'm purchasing sugar, and 10 rupees has the power of purchasing 100 grams of sugar. Just an example. Okay, so 10 rupees has the power of purchasing 100 grams of sugar, and now just after inflation, the 10 rupees loses the power to purchase the same amount of sugar. Now with 10 rupees I can just purchase 50 grams. That means the purchasing power of the currency has been reduced. तो क्या हम इसे inflation कह सकते हैं? बिल्कुल कह सकते हैं. Moving to the option B, an increase in the prices and particularly that of the necessities is called as inflation. Of course, that makes a perfect answer. And when both of them are right, we have option D, which is supporting us. So that's why we will say that option D is the correct answer. Just get to know that in economical term, if I read out the definition for you, then inflation refers to the general progressive increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy. And when the general price level rises, each unit of the currency buys fewer goods and services consequently. जो कि मैंने अभी आपको 100 grams and 50 grams of sugar के help से समझाया. So inflation corresponds to a reduction in the purchasing power of the money. And again I would repeat this, that this kind of a knowledge is very much essential for a MBA aspirant to have. So कोई भी section अच्छे से पढ़ो या ना पढ़ो, but finance and banking related questions अच्छे से पढ़ के जाना for any examination. Now moving to the 9th question for this section, that is, which of the following is a direct tax? So taxes is a very important subcategory under finance, and so is this question. We have three options with us: excise duty, sales tax and income tax, and we have to find out which of the following is a direct tax here. So the answer to this question is option C, that is income tax. Why is it so? First of all, let's know what's direct tax. Direct tax is a tax that a person or an organization pays directly to the entity that imposed it. Like if the entity imposing it is the government of India, we are paying it directly to the government of India. And examples which you can come up with for the direct taxes, one is income tax only, as in the answer. The other is the property tax, okay, real property tax. Then we have taxes on the assets, taxes which are paid by the individual taxpayer to the government, okay. These all are direct taxes. But what happens when it comes to sales tax? Sales tax is a tax which is levied on the seller and paid by the buyer. तो लग ये सेलर पर रहा है, पे उसे बायर कर रहा है, इसलिए दिस इज नॉट अ डायरेक्ट टैक्स. सिमिलरली अगर हम एक्साइज ड्यूटी की बात करें तो एक्साइज ड्यूटी इज अ काइंड ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स विच इज चार्ज्ड ऑन द सेल ऑफ अ सर्टेन प्रोडक्ट. सो उससे क्या होता है कि दिस इज ऑन द सेल. So what happens is the customer does not pay the excise duty directly to the authorities, rather it is added to the cost of the product, and then the producer or the merchant will directly increase the prices, okay, for the customers to, you know, make sure that the excise duty ka kharcha nikal jaye. So that's called as excise duty, and that's again an indirect tax. All right, now moving to the other section, which is geography. So we have the first question from the geography section. And the question says the state that produces the largest quantity of rubber is. So we have to find out which state produces the largest quantity of rubber, and for that what we'll do is we'll go for what? We'll be going for option B. That's Kerala. Kerala is the answer for us. And what do we need to know here? It's just not numbers. Numbers are not required here. Numbers in terms of exact quantity is not required, but percentages can be important. Like Kerala accounts for more than 90% of the total natural rubber which is produced in the country. So that's huge, isn't it? Moving next, which is the second largest natural rubber producing state in India? The second one is not actually in the options only. It's Tripura, guys. Okay, Tripura. It's in northeast. So northeast में अगर पूछा जाए largest quantity of rubber कहाँ मिलता है, then the answer will be Tripura, and it's the second largest producer of natural rubber. We know that it forms from latex, and that's some basic knowledge. Okay. Now, question number 11. For question number 11, this is again a question from geography, but a historical reference to geography, where Surajgarh Fort is located in which state? It's very easy to guess, guys, because of the name Garh Fort, and we know which Indian state is famous for such forts. So the answer is Rajasthan. It's very easy. And the only thing you need to know here is a bit of history about Surajgarh Fort, that it was built in 1780 by the name itself, Suraj. Okay, Maharaja Suraj Singh, the ruler of Shekhawati. Okay, and this Surajgarh Fort has now been converted into a heritage hotel. So this has been converted into a hotel now, and who is owning this hotel? The son of the princes of Jodhpur and Maharaja of Kangra, who is termed as Tikaraj Aishwarya Katoch, and wife Tikaraj Shailaja. Okay, so don't really need to refer to the names, but just need to know that what happened to the Surajgarh Fort right now. Now, question number 12. Question number 12 is India's first genetically modified crop was. So we have four options with us, and the correct answer to this question is option B, that's cotton. Now, which cotton? What do we call this cotton? We studied it back in school. I remember it very well. Okay, maybe because I liked this subject, but still, I loved the biology, and that's why I remember that it's BT cotton. Okay, BT cotton is the first genetically modified crop in India. But the important thing you need to note here is it was developed by whom? So the organization which developed it was MAHYCO, MAHYCO, which stands for Maharashtra Hybrid Seeds Company, and they did it in collaboration with Monsanto. Monsanto. What's Monsanto? It's an American company which collaborated with the Maharashtra's Hybrid Seed Company and made BT cotton, India's first genetically modified crop. Whoa, we have completed this section as well. Now we are moving or heading towards the last section, which is environment related questions. So environment related question number 1 is right there on your screen. It says the concept of carbon credit is associated with which of the following? So concept of carbon credit, you need to find out कि हम carbon credit में करते क्या है. So let's figure it out. Read the options carefully and you will get to know about it. Of course, if the question is in under the section of environment, then you will surely get the answer also as option C, that is protection of environment. But आपको पता होना चाहिए कि carbon credit में होता क्या है. So the concept of carbon credit actually emerged during the Kyoto Protocol decisions. Okay, so ये concept आया कहाँ से? ये Kyoto Protocol से आया, and whenever you get a question on Kyoto Protocol, you know that it's related to environment. Okay, and they found that it's an integral part of the environmental economics right now. And carbon credits are what? They are actually certificates. They are nothing but they are certificates. Okay, and what kind of certificates? Certificates which give the beholder the right to emit 1 ton of carbon dioxide or its equivalent. So they give the right to emit 1 ton of CO2. Okay, and how many certificates does a particular industry has? That depends upon the carbon credit. Okay, so this is all about carbon credit, and it is completely related to the protection of environment. Now moving ahead to the next question, which is question number 20, question number 14. Near which city is the Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History located? So just to tell you that this particular organization which I just now named, Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History, is also called as SACON. So in short, we call it as SACON. Okay. So where is it present? So the answer to this question is option B, that is Coimbatore. Okay, that's Tamil Nadu, and exactly it's in Anaiketi, which is 24 kilometers northwest of Coimbatore, and it's actually a tri-junction of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. It's very important. It's a tri-junction of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Okay, so here it's present in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Okay, and Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary is a very estuarine mangrove habitat which is declared as the bird sanctuary and located on the western tip of the island of Chorao, and that's a river Mandovi which comes and flows from Goa. Okay, and the sanctuary is named after Salim Ali because he was one of the eminent Indian ornithologists we know. So this is the reason why this center is called as Salim Ali Center. Okay. And the last question for the day, that's related to the Indian tribes. Very, very important because they generally give you questions on Indian tribes for you to just know about them. क्योंकि एटलीस्ट पढ़ाई के बहाने ही you would get to know about various Indian things which we generally don't read about, just like Indian tribes. So here the question is, name the Indian tribe which is still living on the trees. The answer to this question is option A, guys, that is Jenu Kuruba, and around 40 people belonging to this tribe of Jenu Kuruba is living in the Bhanwara village of Somerset. Okay, and this has made, and they have made trees as their home. So if you want, you can just note this down that they are in the Banwara village, and this Banwara village falls in the Som Somvar. I think it should be W only. Somvar Pet Taluk. Okay, Taluk. That's, and under here what they do is they very skillfully climb the trees and reach their wooden homes, and they live in it, okay, around 50 to 60 feet above the ground, and they live up to with 6 members in their family, approximately 6 members in their family. And just one more thing which you can add up to this tribal thing is there can be a question on the oldest tribe of India as well. So the oldest tribe of India is termed as the Jarava. It's called as Jarava. They are almost on the verge of getting extinct. Last time we found them was a scanty population of 420 only, living on the verge, like living in somewhere in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. But that's all about Indian tribes, which you can have a note of. So, with this, I can very happily say that we completed 5 very important sections, and the remaining sections will be covered in the second part of the GK and the current affairs workshop for CMAT. If you found this video useful, you know the drill, guys. You have to like this video, share it with more and more people, comment below, and please let me know if it was useful for you, because that really makes my day. I really get happy when I see that there are likes and comments below. I just think that whatever I did, it really took me 5.5 hours to gather all this information in one place for you. So if you really appreciate that, do let me know in the comment section. Hit that like button and share it with more and more people, because if you share more people will come to know about these free resources and videos. So I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, please take care of yourself, and thank you so much for watching.